So locked. I got to be honest, Jose got that intro right, man. We're back, week 3, college football, right here on Pub Sports Radio. You know how this goes. Rapid fire with a lot of really good cappers. Today might be the best show yet. So real quick, hit the like button if you're coming in. Subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and share it. Go to Pub Sports Radio on Twitter. Hit the retweet button. Get it out there. Let's get this chat rocking because today, on this week 3 Saturday, we're getting paid, boys and girls. Shout out to you guys, Jerry Davis, Tom Leach, Chip Pilar, Wine Time, my dude. He'll be right up here with me. Barry, everybody rolling in, man. True Teller, NJ Striker, Pete, good to see you up there as a member. Anybody who can, get that membership. If we've been getting you paid these first 2 weeks, if we're making you money, it's like $4.99 or $9.99, depending on which one you want. Get that membership. It's in the description in the video. Hit join. But that's enough about that soapbox because it's time for us to get some money, baby. And you know how we do it right here. I got 2 anchors of this show. I'm going to get them up here with me. Moose Money Bets, my good guy right here. Let's pop him up. What up, Moose?
Oh, hello.
I think I like that one better than last week. I like that better than last week. What's up, man?
What's going on, dude? It is a glorious Saturday, ready to get some action going. And shout out to everybody in the chat.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I'm excited. Look, some people say this slate's not that great. They're not like me if they think this slate's not great because there are football games all day. Lots of action to be had. I've already got several bets, and I've got one that I want to give out that we haven't talked about yet. So let's get Wine Time up here and let's get cooking. Without further ado, my dude Wine Time been absolutely destroying college football to start this early season. Wine Time, what's good, bro?
What up, boys? Good to be here, man. Happy Saturday, man. 7:05 here on the West Coast, man. Shout out to everyone that's here early and often, man. It's going to be a good day, man. We got a lot of good games to talk about. So without further ado, let's get to it.
I agree. Like I told you guys, we're going to roll, get people up here. We're blessed today because Wine Time does not have to hurry out of here. He doesn't have to leave as quick. So we're going to start this one kind of like the last one. But before I go any further, shout out to my dude Kong's Clips dropping that membership. I said it off the top of the show when we got started. You members keep this channel going. Without you, we don't have a channel. So thank you. We don't sell you shit here at Pub Sports Radio. We give you our best bets. Not only that, we give you a ton of other cappers' best bets too. We load it up for you, and it's free. So if you can, join the channel, join the movement. Let's start a wave. Let's get rocking. We're going to start week 3 right here like we started week 1. This guy, absolutely love him. One of my favorite college football cappers. He should be rocking with us, week in and week out for the most part this season. A guy that I know is going to absolutely dominate and bring you guys money, which is why I bring him to you. My dude, Guns Picks.
Hello. I got to do the spin like Moose. Can I do it?
Don't tangle yourself.
I don't know. I don't want to do that. I'll be in a...
Hey, that's some moose stuff. Only mooses can do that moose stuff.
What's going on, fellas? It's College Football Saturday, Week 3 edition. I call this Sandwich Saturday. That's the theme of this. And when I give out the picks, you are going to realize the delicatessen is wide open today. And we got a couple picks here to give it to you. Let's go.
Man, I tell you what, Sandwich Saturday is a nice little coin that I'm looking to understand here in just a minute. I got to get our guy Nunya. Gunsy, right when you popped on, he dropped another membership. Shout out to Nunya, my dude. Hopefully he'll be bringing you guys a best bet or two here in just a little while. Also, Nunya, I dropped you the link. You're always welcome on Saturdays. We love you, my dude. Tom Leach rolling in. Chip, everybody, baby. Moose, what's this first game we're looking at this Saturday? How are you getting us paid?
I am looking early.
Moose? Did I say Moose?
Yeah. Are we doing Moose?
Listen, I've been up since 6 o'clock. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say. I called Moose Dutch earlier.
I was ready to roll, man. Look, sometimes the backups get in the game a little early, and man, I was ready to roll.
You calling Guns a backup? Did he just?
I was calling myself a backup. I was calling myself.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm the backup, I'm transferring. I'm going to a new school. I need to get reps. I need to be under center. I need to show my talent.
All right. Well, the good. I needed a quick laugh. I needed to fuck something up real quick, like saying the F word before the 7-minute mark. But you know what? I almost got there. I got to 5:33. Let's try this again. Guns, what's the first game you're looking at today that we're going to talk about?
Yeah, we're going to be hitting the sandwiches on this one. We got a perfect one here today. Oklahoma State versus Tulsa. Chapman Stadium, Tulsa, Oklahoma is the spot. 12 p.m. is the kick. Looking at these two teams, where are they coming from? You have an Oklahoma State coming off a nice win in OT versus Arkansas. We talked about it before the show. 21-7. Arkansas had the lead and they blew it in the second half. Tulsa coming off a nice little win, close win over Arkansas State last week. Tight matchup, including the yardage battle and in the points, so it kind of correlated. But you have an Oklahoma State team that won by 8 last week. However, when you actually look at the box score, minus 263 net yard average, and you're asking yourself, how did they win this game? Second half of the game, Arkansas had the ball 6 times, and this is how each possession went: fumble, missed field goal, turnover on downs, touchdown, field goal. And then it went to overtime. Arkansas missed a field goal, turnover on downs. Oklahoma, on the other side, second half, 5 out of their 6 possessions, they ended up with points. So a little bit of a misleading final in that game. Also, look at Oklahoma State's defense. They've been a huge liability all season, at least, the beginning of the season. 4.9 yards per carry given up to opponents on the ground, 340 yards per game in the passing. And that was against teams like South Dakota State and Arkansas. Tulsa, good rushing offense, 6.7 yards per carry on the year. They have a good quarterback, too, that takes care of the football. Kurt Francis. He isn't going to light up the scoreboards with his passing. He's not the elitist quarterback, but he's a good game manager. He has a 5-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. And I think opportunistic defense like Oklahoma State, this is going to be a detriment to them in this game. And I mentioned sandwich. This is a super sandwich spot here for Oklahoma State because guess what's on deck? Back-to-back ranked opponents in Utah and Kansas State. So are they looking at this Tulsa team? I don't think so. Plus Tulsa, 13-5-1 ATS, has a dog of 20 points or more. So I think this is going to be an overlooked type of situation where Tulsa playing at home, big opponent. They're going to be up for this game. I got the game at 20.5. I gave it out early in the week. It's dropped to 17.5 this morning. I think this is a 2-possession game. I think Tulsa keeps it close. So give me Tulsa, my line, plus 20.5 as the play.
I got nothing on this one, fellas. I'm going to pass this one off to Moose.
I mean, it's Ollie Gordon, and Ollie Gordon surprisingly has not looked like the guy we thought he was going to look like. When's the breakout game happening? That would be my only concern with this. Tulsa would seem like a game for him to break out, but I have nothing on this game here. But best of luck to Guns on it. Rocking the hat and everything, so you know it's going to hit.
So, and we're not looking back, we're looking forward. But for a split second, obviously, anybody who's in here knows I was on Arkansas last week and I got on them early. That was a tough fucking game. But there's something sick inside of me. I don't know what it is. Like this thing about gambling where it's like when you lose like you lost to Arkansas, you should just say, fuck that team. I'm not betting on them anymore, right? I'm done with them. And there's something sick deep inside of me because I want Arkansas again, like this week. I want them now. And I actually love how they looked against Oklahoma State, minus the fact they tried to lose the football game, right? The muff punt in the fourth quarter, the way they just rushed into that 4th and 2 at the end of that last drive, the missed field goals. Guns touched on a lot of it. Arkansas State threw that game away. But outside of that, they had 500 fucking yards of offense. I mean, they looked outstanding. Arkansas, Bobby Petrino has Arkansas's offense absolutely humming. So yeah, I do like, what they got going over there in this game. I get what you're saying in the sandwich now. I understand the theme of the day, Guns. So I'm excited to see what the next game's theme is going to be. What's the next one we're turning to? Hold on. Before you say it, give me a second. I forgot Jose left. All right. Let's see how fast I can find this graphic. What's the next game you're looking at, my dude?
Yeah, the next graphic, we're going to do another sandwich because, the deli is wide open and I'm freaking hungry today, boys. Tulane going to Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, Norman, Oklahoma. 3:30 p.m. is the kick on this one. Listen, you have a Tulane team coming off a tough loss last week, really battled against Kansas State 37-27, despite winning the yardage battle, but -2 turnover ratio for the game. Oklahoma coming off kind of a lackluster win versus Houston, 16-12. They only put up 249 yards of total offense, 75 rushing, and -69 net yards for the game. So this offense really not clicking here early on for Oklahoma. Tulane, great offense. 491 yards of total offense last week versus Kansas State, 342 yards passing. They have a great quarterback in Darian Menza, replacing Michael Pratt, who is an elite quarterback for them forever, it seemed. He was 29 for 41 last week, 70.7% completion rate, 13.3 yards per attempt, 4 touchdowns, 1 INT. He played elite last week. Oklahoma's success, so far is basically their ability to be an opportunistic team, getting the turnovers. They had a +6 turnover ratio versus Temple and a +1 turnover ratio versus Houston. Their rush defense is good, but they allowed Houston to pass for 260 yards, 24 for 28 passing last week. So maybe this is going to be a big day for Menza. Then I got, like I said, the theme of the day, the sandwich spot action here, because Oklahoma gets their SEC opener next week at home versus the Tennessee Volunteers. So maybe a little bit of an overlooked spot for this Tulane team. And I love this Tulane team. I think this is one of those teams that is underrated in the market. Granted, they lost their coach, Willie Fritz, to Houston, but the coach that they got right now, Summerall, coming over from Troy, he's an elite coach himself. And I think this is going to be a big game for Tulane, and Oklahoma's going to overlook this green wave. So I'm going to get Tulane here. I got +14, +13s are on the board, but I see this Tulane team keeping it close today.
I love it. I love it, Guns. I don't got anything in this game, but definitely leading towards the Tulane side in this one. You mentioned Oklahoma has the SEC opener coming up next week that they're looking forward to. Tulane, man, coming off an impressive, I know they lost last game, but they were in it the whole way. Mentioned they lost Willie Fritz to Houston. This team still has some dogs out there. They've still got a good coaching staff over there. Give me Tulane plus the 13. That's what I would lean towards.
I was waiting for the 10 on Oklahoma because the line drop on this has been significant. It opened at 20 and it dropped all the way down to under 2 touchdowns. A couple of things that are very important to note here. The starting center for Oklahoma is listed as questionable, and that could be huge when you are having a new exchange between Jackson Arnold and their starting center, Branson Hickman. The other point on the other side, Shaz Preston might be coming back. And if you have Mario Williams and Shaz Preston on the outside, which is supposed to be an elite duo in the college football, that could be very good against an Oklahoma secondary that hasn't really been as advertised. I mean, it was supposed to be like a top 3 secondary, and it really hasn't looked like that. I think that could be a significant factor in this. But really, if you look at the backups for Oklahoma, the backups for Oklahoma are significantly better than the starters for Tulane. I wanted to see if I could get a 10 on Oklahoma, but it never got there. I do think Tulane at a +14 or a +14.5 is absolutely the side to be on. But I would be apprehensive because of the potential backup significant, or just the total talent that is on the backup side of Oklahoma would be significant to keep me off. I was looking Oklahoma under 10. It never got there. I think Tulane at +13, +14 is the side.
So I tell you what, everybody in the chat rolling in, if I don't hit your bet, okay, like I'm doing right now with my guy Boogeyman, I'm putting a star on it and I'm hitting it. He said Coastal Carolina first half -9.5 and full game 17.5. And now I got it starred so I can go back over it later. If I don't hit your bet, drop it again so I see it. I want to know what you guys in the chat are betting also. If you haven't noticed, we're going to roll, right? Like Guns is about to fire another one away. He's got that clip loaded. That's why, you get it. Guns, baby. And I want Winetime and Moose to get to weigh in. So by the time it gets to me, I'm going to try and get to you guys in the chat as much as I can because you guys' bets are just as important to me. So drop them in there. But like I said, we got to keep this thing moving. Shout out to my guy, DJ Big Boss in the chat. See, this is what I'm talking about. I wanted to make sure I hit it. I dropped the link, Big Boss, because I know you're not doing Boss in the Sauce today. If you're free, we'd love to have you up here. I'd always love to have you. If not, go follow my guy, DJ Big Boss, right now on social media. He will bring you winners. Shout out to Big Boss, man. Real OG in the game. Cap and Cards said Nevada +17. Let me hit him. Prime VA 757 said Memphis, Florida State over 53. And then Tom Leach, here we go. Best bet. Tom Leach dropping Florida State -6.5 is his best bet. I am actually interested in talking about that one too. We'll get to all these games, guys. We go to the game the cappers want to bet, and then towards the end of the show, we'll cap the ones you guys want to cap. Guns, let's see how fast I can do it this time. Let's see if I'm quicker. What's graphic number 3, Big Dog?
Yeah, I'm at the terminal right now, about to hop that plane over to Greenville, North Carolina. We're going to App State versus East Carolina, Dowdy Ficklen Stadium. 4 p.m. is the tip. We're getting in the nitty-gritty of the Fun Belt versus the AAC here, and I'm jumping on the pirate ship, and let me tell you why. We have App State coming into this game. They got crushed last week versus Clemson, 60-20. getting smoked in the yardage battle, minus 349 net yards, minus 2 turnover ratio. I was on App State. Bad cap on my part. But we got an ECU team 2-0 in the season. Granted, they haven't played the tougher schedule as App State has versus Norfolk State and Old Dominion, plus 286 net yards for the year. ECU's strength the last few seasons has been their defense. The last 2 games, it has really shown that, holding opponents to 201 yards of total offense, 2.1 yards per carry on the ground, and 132 yards per game passing. Granted, bad teams they played so far. They're going to get tested here versus this App State squad. But App State's offense is more run focused. 5.5 yards per carry, less in the past. They've only got Jolie Aguilar only has a 50% pass completion rate so far this season. And I just think this ECU team just defends well, especially when you look at that team last year. They were only giving up 3.4 yards per carry, and they're one of the most experienced teams coming back this season, especially on the defensive side of the ball. These 2 teams also met, so you have a revenge factor from last year because App State beat them 43-28 as 7.5-point favorites. Now you're seeing the line dip here on the home switch, and you're seeing ECU as a short dog, so I like that correlation there. Also, look at App State as an away favorite, 3-11-1 ATS in their last, 15 on that one in the last 4 years, and they're also 1-6 ATS as a favorite of 3 points or less in the last 4 seasons, and I'm just high on this ECU team. I did a preview show basically selling the fact that I think this ECU team is a bowl caliber team. I said take their over on wins. This defense is a lot better. They had to fix their offense. They did that by getting a new OC coming over from Ole Miss under the Lane Kiffin tree. So you're going to see that air raid. You'll see more points out of them. And you'll see this ECU team that is an underrated defense. They were underrated last year. And now you're going to see them excel because they have the offense. So I'm high on the Pirates here today. Give me the money line for ECU, plus 100 as the play.
ECU money line. Shout out to Earl Sports Bet in the chat. My bad.
I knew he'd come up, man. That ECU bastard. He's always. He knows I love him. He knows I love it.
I know, right? And every time he comes in the chat, I'm like, "Hey, you want to come on?" And he doesn't fucking answer me. So, shout out to you, but also, what the fuck, man? No, I'm just kidding. Wine time, take it.
No, I got nothing on this game, guys. Shout out to Guns, man, giving some good fucking breakdowns on these games. Not a lot of people are talking about. These games go under the radar. That's how you find value in these games. It looks like Guns is finding the value in these games. So I'm leaning that side.
All right, Guns. Let's do it. App State appears to have a significant weakness that ECU can exploit. App State was expected to be poor against the run, and they've been downright awful. ECU is a legit running back, and he has looked the part. Rajay Harris has looked very good, and I expect him to go off here. But ECU needs to cool it with passing the ball. They got a legit run game. Use it. ECU does not need Jake Garcia to do his best Jeff Garcia with the Browns impression. Turn it and hand the ball off or pitch it. But if Jake Garcia must throw, he's got to cut down on the interceptions. 4 last week. App State has a solid offense, but it is not as good as they looked versus an FCS East Tennessee State. But they aren't as bad as they looked versus Clemson. But I think they're closer to what we saw versus Clemson than what we saw versus ETSU. ECU has a legit front 7, but App State held their own against Clemson in pass pro. So the question becomes, do I believe ECU defense? And I believe they will do better against the run than App State does. I can't deny the value on App State. It is outstanding. App State in basically a pick'em versus ECU has great value, but big old Nicki Minaj, but App State's weakness is ECU's strength. ECU money line. If I could get the Harris Rush props, I would absolutely be on it, but I can't find it.
So I'm making it. This is official for you also?
This is 100% official. ECU money line. I'm on that as well.
Jump on the pirate ship, baby. Let's go.
You guys want to know something funny? And then I'll get to the chat and we'll keep it rolling. So the very first week, I felt like a jerk because I took one of my daughter's pens. You see all the colors on it?
Pretty.
But then I realized, like, for ECU, I can write in purple. And I was like, oh, no, it's not going back. Because now I get to write in whatever color the team is. So let's say you guys were on App State. I'd be like, oh, we're going yellow gold, baby. But you're not. You're not. So just wanted to let you guys know that. I felt like it was important. Everybody in the chat rolling in now, man. Nutflush coming in there. Nutflush, if you got any team totals for us, man, anytime. We'd love to have you up here, Nutflush. If you guys can, we get this thing started early. We start an hour earlier than most things on Pub Sports Radio. Usually we pop off at 11 Central or Eastern. Today we popped off at 10. Tomorrow or next Saturday will be the same thing. So share it. We got over 140 people. Let's pump this thing up to 200 people here today. Thank you guys. Guns, I think you told me 3.
That's 3. Yep.
You told me 3. So that was the last best bet. I got Guns already came in here. He gave us Tulsa plus 18, Tulane plus 14, and ECU even money plus 100 on the money line, correct?
Yeah, I got Tulsa at plus 20.5, but yeah, it's a 2-score game. You can take plus 18. This is 14. This is like anywhere between a 10 and 14 game, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Well, and then what you gave out too. I say it all the time. Everybody in the chat, if you are somebody who tails, you better follow Guns on X, on social media, because if he took a 20.5, I'm sure you could have got a 20.5 with him. You just got to follow him. You got to communicate. We're here to help bring you guys money. That's what it's all about. Speaking of team totals, Nutflesh just dropped us Boston College team total over 18.5. Here we go. I like it. Nutflesh. We'll get to that. Guns, you got any last words for everyone, man? I can't tell you how much I love having you come in and start these shows. You bring the best energy, man.
I love coming on. I love you guys. Moose, Wine Time, Daby. Appreciate you guys having me on. Go check out Saturday mornings with Guns Picks. It starts at 11 a.m. Not doing a show this week. I got uploads, but I'll be back next week with the most electric guest, the most electrifying show on the planet. You bring the plays, I bring the opinions, and I'll have some very special guests along the way. So please go check that out on the Guns Picks channel. And then you can just follow along with whatever I'm doing on @Guns Picks. You see the name right there. You can go follow me on all social media platforms, X, Instagram, and TikTok. Be dropping plays there all the time. So good luck with your plays today. Let's cash some tickets. Let's dominate the board. And then, as always, let's keep dancing.
Great work, Guns.
Shout out to our guy Guns Picks. Let's say it again, man. I love the way. Let's see if I can do this too. If I fuck it up, I'll stop. But let's see. It's pretty good. I'm getting pretty good, boys. I'm getting pretty good at this producing things. I love the way he comes and starts the show, man. I love doing this with you guys. He's someone I love doing it with. For 1 second, we're going to breathe so I can hit the chat again. Shout out Steve G. Shout out Tom Leach. He said novice cap. Steve, I don't know who you're talking about, man. We're still glad you're here, even if you're in there just shit talking. Nunya, Jerry, everybody, man. Drop your bets. I've been highlighting, so I want to go back to them. So far, we have Rob. He is on Oregon. First half, -9.5. He said it is best bet. Can't wait to talk about that Oregon State-Oregon game. You know, I know a lot of people on Oregon State. I think you might be the first I've seen on Oregon. So interesting to talk about there. Clark Edge, UTSA plus 35. It's a huge spread for you. We'll talk about UTSA falling off and sucking. Shout out to you, Jose. Tom Leach said he's glad he got Purdue 10.5 early. I think I hit primes already. There we go. So I want to go back and hit y'all's bets. Anybody else dropping them? Because I keep them. So put them in the chat. We'll hit them. Jerry Davis said South Carolina plus 7.5 was his second best bet. I love it. Wine Time. We're going to go ahead and, as this happens, since people come back, I was thinking we'd go to yours next, but I don't want to leave our guys sitting backstage. So,
let's bring him up. Let's bring him up.
Okay, cool. So without further ado, guys, week 1, week 2. Week 1 was this guy's first time coming on screen, bringing you guys bets, and he killed it. And then week 2, he did the same. And let me say this. It's easy to get on screen. It's easy to win. You know what's not easy is to follow it up and win again, and then follow it up and win again, right? It's easy to lose. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy to bounce back and win after you lose. Like, that's real shit gambling talk right there. Like, any real degenerate understands that. And he came up and he won again on week 2, right? And I got a good feeling. He's going to bring the heat again today and get us paid again. So without any further ado, let me bring him up here. Our guy, Kong's Clips. Let me switch the.
Let's go, Kong.
Right.
Yo,
Kong,
yo,
up,
yo.
Let's go.
What's good?
What's up, guys? Good morning.
How we doing?
Man.
Good.
Let me get these graphics fixed real quick. Kong, I didn't want to say what you went last week because I didn't want to be wrong. Was it 3-1 on the show?
3-1 on the show.
Okay, because I know you won another bet you posted, but it was after the show. But it was 3-1 on the show last week again, right?
Yep.
Beautiful work, man. Just absolutely beautiful. I'm excited to do it again today. If I fuck these graphics things up, we might need to do it like this, and we'll put our guest on top. I think that's what we'll do. Let me know in the chat if you are okay with these visuals or if you liked it the way before, because what you guys think is what matters. But Kong, how are we getting paid today, man? What's the first graphic I need to get up here on this board?
Georgia, Kentucky.
Okay, let me find that bad boy right there. Damn, I'm getting good at this. There we go. Georgia, Kentucky. What a big game. What are you looking at, man?
All right. So this matchup, I don't believe need much breakdown. South Carolina blew Kentucky out last week, 31-6. Georgia gets to iron out the one or two wrinkles in their game this week. I believe they cover the first quarter -6.5. One of my favorite bets this week. It's Little Juice -128, but it's a winner. So cash that. Also, give me the full game. It was -24.5 when I tweeted it out. Not sure where it's sitting now, but more than prepared to bet it again. And also going to be on the Kentucky team total. I got it under 9.5 at plus money. It was plus 108. I seen that it had moved to 10.5. I would rather have the 9.5 at plus money.
So
triple up.
Can you tell me the juice on that one more time? I'm sorry.
The first quarter is -128.
Okay.
The full game is I got -24.5, -105. I believe it come down a couple points.
Yeah.
Kentucky team total under 9.5 is plus 108.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Kong. Man, I tell you, out of all these teams that we've been looking at, Georgia's the one that seems, like Georgia, right? A lot of these other teams seem like they've played down. Georgia's the one that doesn't. You got anything else you wanted to add on this game or say about this game before I let Winetown and Moose take it?
No, that's good. Good on my part.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I like the play. Kong. We saw what Kentucky did last week, getting blown out by South Carolina. Georgia's a whole different beast over there. I like that -6.5. A little juicy, but, I think it's juicy for a reason. They probably beat these guys by at least 10 in that first quarter. Nothing too crazy for me in this matchup. They'll love the breakdown, though.
Yeah, I'd expect Kentucky to play better because they were awful last week. I mean, they were giving up horrible field position, turnovers, not converting fourth downs. I think they were 1 of 15 on third downs. I expect Kentucky to be better, but not here, not against Georgia. So I would say Georgia's probably the side to be on. I didn't really look at this too much because I do think Kentucky gets better, but I would not test this game in any way, shape, or form.
I would take Georgia. Look, I got to tell you something. My pops, and maybe I got to start giving him out. He's been sending me bets. He always does every year during college football because all of his friends, they ask for what he likes because he's like a nut when it comes to this stuff. Dude is on Georgia again, but I feel like he's always on Georgia, and it pisses me off because it's always so chalky what he bets. But I'm going to be honest, he's 7-1 on what he sent me the first 2 weeks. So he didn't send me anything week 0. So I might have to start giving out my pop shit if he stays hot. He's on Georgia with you, Kongs. That's the whole point in me saying that. So what's our next game? We'll come back to this game, chat. Don't think just because we pass a game that's it. That's all we got to say. We will come back to this game. We will look into it some more. We just want to keep the best bets rolling. And, Kongs is on fire. So where are we going next?
Ole Miss at Wake Forest.
Oh, yeah. I like this one. Look at how quick I am at this, boys.
Yeah, you're good at being quick.
Good shit, Daby.
That was quick. Congratulations.
Yeah, you should know.
He keeps going, boys and girls. This is just so talented. So talented. All right, Kong, how are we getting paid on this one?
All right. We were on Ole Miss last week. Looked a little touchy there in the third quarter, but they get there. I'm on Ole Miss again this week. This team is doing what they're supposed to against the weaker teams. This week, we get a better feel for what Lane Kiffin has in his team. I think this team is going to be in the championship conversation soon. I think they keep rolling here. I tweeted out Monday at 23.5 -110. I seen it last night at 20.5. So again, it's a little scary seeing it come down so much. It takes a lot of money to move a line that much. But I'm on Ole Miss.
I wouldn't worry too much about that line movement. Go ahead, one time.
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup right here. I've been high on Ole Miss the last couple months. They're definitely my team. I have to win the national championship. I really like what Lane Kiffin's doing over there. All of his players are buying into him. He was a big transfer guy. A lot of these guys, though, have been sticking with him. What do? They go out in the portal and they grab Juice Wells from South Carolina, really dynamic receiver, NFL-type receiver to pair up with Trey Harris over there. Those two guys are dynamic. It's the best 1-2 receiver duo in the nation, without a doubt in my mind. They went out and grabbed a lot of guys in the portal on defense. A lot of experienced guys, though, and their defense definitely does look improved. They haven't really faced anyone yet. Lane Kiffin's known for blowing the doors off these teams that aren't very good. Wake Forest, they are a Power 4 program. 21 points is a lot in this one. I got nothing on this. I've been leaning Ole Miss in this spot. I'm not going to lie. A little bit of the line movement was I did think that this opened up at 22.5. It's down to a 21. It's a tough game. Ole Miss is definitely going to win this game. They should blow the doors off Wake Forest, but nothing for me in this one.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, we had quite a few people last week that were on Wake Forest against Virginia, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
So if you were on Wake Forest last week, I totally understand hopping on them again here. I didn't do it because I just didn't feel like I had a good read on either team. I thought both Virginia and Wake Forest were some of the worst teams in the ACC, which isn't necessarily a major negative thing. I mean, the worst team in the ACC is still a very competent team, but Ole Miss is – they are a potential playoff contender here, and not only just playoff contender, but a national champion contender. So if you were on Wake Forest last week, totally understand you jumping on them again here. But I wasn't on them last week. So the thought process for me was pretty much just like, yeah, I'm just going to avoid this. If there's a prop out there I can get on, I'll jump on the prop. But at the end of the day, I don't know who Wake Forest is. I don't have a good feel for them. I don't have a good read on them. So those games that they're involved in right now, I need more data. I need more analytics to go off of.
I think 21 is a great number. Honestly, like it came down because I broke this game down with Pete on Tuesday. And for anybody that tuned in knows I'm on the over. I took the over. I got it at 63. My whole reason behind it is I think that this is the first Wake Forest with I'm gonna butcher his name. Bachmeier. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Bachmeier. It's either Bachmeier or Bachmeier. I don't know why I always forget.
Bachmeier, yeah.
6 years now. I mean, literally, this is a six.
Yeah.
This is sixth season. So I should know it. When I mess up names, just know it's not even reading. I'm just an idiot because I know the guy. I've watched him play for a long time. The Boise State transfer. What I'm getting at is Wake Forest offense is functionable. It's their defense that, against Virginia. How are you giving up 30 points against Virginia? That's just crazy to me. So I think their defense is going to give up points to Ole Miss. That's no question. And I think this is the first decent offense that Ole Miss has gone against. Doesn't mean I think Wake Forest is going to go put up 40 points. Not going to happen. I think they score a little bit. And if Wake Forest can score a couple times, give me 17 points maybe in this game, I think Ole Miss will do the rest because every time Wake Forest scores, Lane Kiffin's going to score 3 times. So it's one of those things that I like the over in this one. So we got action all over in this one. We got Kong on Ole Miss. I'm on the total. So we got a side and a total bet. If you can't get a 63 anymore and you want to ride it, ride it. I'm not one of those people. Fuck it. Bet it anyways. We're cashing the bigger number 2. Fuck it, man. No professionalism here. Let's just make some money, right? Kong, what's the third one you're looking at?
Just to touch back on that, Daby, there are holes in Ole Miss defense. So I'm thinking it'll be closer to a 28 to 30 point game, but I think Wake Forest puts up points here. So I think that total's good.
Hell yeah. I love hearing that, man. Love hearing that.
Ball State.
Go ahead.
Ball State, Miami next game.
Ball State, Miami. And while I'm finding that, let's see if I can no, I can't because I can't see the chat and the graphics. Damn, I was going to try.
I'll be right
Ball
back,
State,
folks.
Miami. Let's see if I got this. I should have it. There we go, baby. Ball State, Miami. And before you start, real quick, let me hit these guys in the chat, man. Shout out to all you guys. Nunya, if you want to pop in, I'll get you up whenever you're ready. No pressure if you can't. Oldie, it's good to see you. Noli, he said, Ole Miss, 21 players on the Senior Bowl watch list. Wake Forest has 4. Okay, that's good knowledge right there. Hey, Noli, nope. I know you got the baseball on Saturdays, but I dropped you a link too. If you have any bets you want to drop, man, we'd love to have you up here. But we love having you in the chat either way. So thanks for being here, man. What are you looking at here, Kong?
All right. Shout out to the chat, man. Everybody go hit the like button. We're a little short on likes. We come on here and do this stuff for free for everybody, and we're giving out money. But shout out to the chat. Ball State at Miami. Miami come out in week 1 in midseason form and dismantled Florida. Miami made some really big moves this summer, grabbing Cam Ward and Damian Martinez. This team is fun to watch. They look really comfortable out there, like they've been playing together for a few years. They roll here. It's a big number. The line is stale. It's been sitting at 36.5. I didn't get a chance to check it this morning. But it's been sitting there all week. I gave it out Monday at 36.5. But I believe they cover the number. Give me Miami, Florida minus 36.5, minus 110.
Love it. I love it. I'm super high on this Miami program going into this year. I was talking to Moose about both these programs in the summer, Miami and Ole Miss. Two of my dark horses, honestly, to make the college, well, not dark horses to make the college football playoff, but to win the college football playoff. You already touched on what they brought in. Cam Moore, Damian Martinez. Got a lot of guys on defense. They got that defensive end from Tennessee, who could have probably been drafted in the second or third round last year. Had 7.5 sacks at the SEC level. Playing really well for Miami right now. This Miami team's going to be rolling, man. These guys, this talent level, there's levels to this, honestly, and Miami should blow the roof off these guys. I'm not going to lay it here, but I definitely like where Kongs is going in this one.
Hell yeah.
Ditto. Everything he just said.
I love it, man. I love it. Do we have that was 1, 2, that was 3. Did you have another game, Kongs, or was that it?
One more game. UTSA at Texas. Sorry, Jose.
I'm on this one too.
Look how quick I am. What are you talking about, J-Dub? I got that producing. And after Kong, shout out to my guy Nunya. Boy, I gotta say this. I saw him pop backstage and he gave me a toast with his beer. He always gets the good vibes going. And he was sitting in the car. I was like, I know this motherfucker ain't drinking and driving, but then he got out and I can see outside. So shout out to Nunya, man. I'm glad he was about to pop up here. But what are we looking at UTSA Texas, Kong?
Again, sorry, Jose. UTSA got bent over last week, 49-10. I think Texas goes up big in the first half, and we see Arch Manning right after halftime. Texas can name their number here and could win by 40 or 50. I put this out at 33.5 on X. Got a better number. Follow me on X. I'm giving out numbers early in the week. You win some, you lose some on the CLV fight. But give me the best number, Texas minus 33.5.
Beautiful. I like it. I'm on the over in this one. Is official play for me. I gave it out last night on X. Not only do I think Texas, I do think Texas can cover this number quite easily. I also think UTSA is going to punch it in a couple times. Texas can name their number. You already mentioned they're probably going to bring in Arch Manning second half, which means they're not going to take that foot off the gas. They're going to see what they have in this kid, especially going against another Texas school. I like the everywhere Kong's going in this. I like the over too. I got the over 55 minus 110 last night. I see no issues why this game doesn't hit 60 in this spot. So give me the over 55.
That 35 is good too. I'm going to bet it again after the show.
That's awesome. I got distracted. Look at Noli distracted me from the show. He said Texas A&M is having a cannabis conference. You going? Of course I'm going, but I also don't know if he's joking. I think something might have happened in the locker room this week, and I'll get to it.
Yeah.
But their starting safety all of a sudden isn't playing. They have another DB that's a starter that's all of a sudden not playing, and Connor Wigman is all of a sudden 50-50. A lot of weird shit happened in that locker room this week. We'll touch on it. But Kong, man, it's been a blast these first couple weeks, and I'm looking forward to doing this with you the rest of the season, man. You've been killing it. Thank you.
Hey.
Got any last words for the chat, man?
Yeah, I want to touch my 2-unit parlay of the week. I'm 2-0 on them right now, up 21 units. Gave it out on my X earlier in the week. I'm taking Ole Miss minus 23.5, Miami minus 36.5, and Texas minus 33.5. It's plus 581. Putting 2 units on that again this week. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Pub. Shout out to you, Daby. Appreciate this thing. Love you guys.
Hell yeah.
Let's have a day.
Good work.
Hell yeah, Kong. Shout out to our guy Kong, man. Absolutely bringing the heat. And he brings a parlay because I know some of you degenerates in the chat need that parlay, baby. Real quick, I'll hit his action one more time. He got Georgia first quarter, minus 6.5. He has full game, ATS, whatever you can get. The line's been moving. He has the Kentucky team total under 9.5 at plus 108. He has Ole Miss ATS. He has Miami ATS. He has Texas ATS. And then the parlay was Ole Miss, Miami, and Texas. So shout out to our guy Colin coming in there. I see our guy Nunya backstage. He's popped up and came back. You know, Nunya's quick. He's quick with it when he comes. Oh, there he is. There he is. No further ado needed. I've already talked enough. You know, he brings the energy, the good vibes, makes makes it feel like it's 5 o'clock everywhere, no matter what time it is when he comes on. Shout out to my guy Nunya. Nunya, what up, man?
Let's
What's up,
go.
boys? What's up? Sorry, I'm a little bit sloppy this morning. It's raining out here.
Shit.
I was in the car. I hopped in the car trying to get a little bit of privacy, but Wi-Fi doesn't work too well out there.
Yeah, you toasted me with the beer in the
parlay for you guys, and we taking favorites. We taking SEC, big favorites. We throwing them all together. It's an 11 a.m. parlay though. It's a money line favorite parlay. That's why I was trying to get it together. I know I'm taking Bama. I know I'm taking OK State, Texas Tech. You're gonna have to run them off. You're gonna have to run off the 11 a.m. slate for me because I don't wanna lose the feed.
Okay, so you got Bama, you got Oklahoma State. Have you not put it together yet?
Well, I have it put together, but I don't want to lose you guys. I'm on my phone, so.
Oh, gotcha.
Just run off the 11 a.m. games, and I'll throw you the money line.
Moose, you got them by chance? Because I don't have them by time.
For the 11. Yeah, I'm actually looking at the bet line right here. So 11 a.m.
I've got a 10-game parlay. I put it together for. Let me get you.
You got Alabama, Wisconsin,
6:42,
Arkansas, Michigan,
plus
Central
6:42.
Michigan, Illinois. Oh, sorry, Gnanya, but go ahead.
Illinois. Sorry, yeah, no, go Moose. You got it.
All right. So you got Central Michigan, Illinois, Cincinnati, Miami, Ohio, LSU, South Carolina, Louisiana Tech, North Carolina State, Memphis, Florida State, North Texas, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, Tulsa, and then you have the 9:45 at Boston College, Missouri.
Yeah, so we're taking LSU, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, Alabama. We're taking. I think I got. Who do I got? Michigan, Missouri, Florida State, NC State. Oh, I threw an 11:45 game on there. Who was that?
That would be Missouri, Boston College.
Yeah, Missouri. Mizzou's going to close that shit out. That's a plus. I got it at plus 642. I put a half a unit on it. $20.
Took all the favorites in the early game. I love it.
Let's go, baby. Hey,
Let's
it's early
go.
money.
I love it, Nunya. I love it.
I didn't have time to cap player props. I didn't, I've been. It's a long week. I had a long night last night, but we here. We know who's gonna win these games. That's what it's
Let's
about.
go.
It's about winning. It was the first half money lines, but I said, let's just throw all these winners together. Just hope they put down their business, do what they got to do. Let's see it. I told you last week. I was wrong on Taylor. I was wrong at Arkansas quarter downs, but they did work. And my UAB Blazers got to face them boys today. It's raining over here in Birmingham. It's gonna be in Arkansas. But it's wet over there. But it's gonna be a knockdown drag out. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see what happens. Everybody's saying, oh, this UAB offense don't got nothing. Zeno, just watch
Let's
out for
go.
Zeno.
Let's go, Nunya.
Maybe play a little prop. Arkansas might get ahead. Zeno's gonna be in the game the whole game. End fourth quarter, Arkansas puts in that second string. Zeno might have a couple little dump offs.
Well,
just check your spots. Them UAB Blazers, baby.
I like to say, we got sides, totals, straight bets. We got parlays. We got a little something for everybody. And Nunya, man, I appreciate you coming on and bringing that for us, man. I love doing this. I love getting to see you on screen.
I got like 14 hummingbirds flying around my porch right now in the rain. It's crazy.
Heck yeah.
Nunya, you got any last words for the chat before we get this thing rolling?
Well, boys, keep working together. Listen to these boys on Pub Sports Radio. They'll put you on. They'll get you looking in the right directions, and that's what you need to do. Everybody's got their own opinions. Everybody's got their own ways of capping. Me, personally, I'm a little biased with the SEC. I look at those spots, but and I've been slacking on my FCS capping. I used to pride myself on my FCS capping, but I didn't do none of that this week. I'm kind of rolling with y'all boys, but there's a lot of good games in FCS. Do not sleep on these FCS spots. Look, and shout out Ramon Scott. If you need any type of advice when it comes down to those games, look up his.
I think we lost him right there.
I'm going to guess Twitter was the final sentence or the final word of that sentence.
He was going to say Ramon's Twitter. I know we did lose him right there.
Yeah, I think I think we deduced that. I think we could figure that out. So go check out Ramon Scott. He's a hell of a capper. Does a lot of great stuff here locally with San Diego high school sports.
Is he back there?
Yeah.
So he's
Nanya,
awesome.
we exited you. You froze, my dude. You froze, but we love
he
you.
lost me.
We love you.
Did he lose me?
Yeah, we lost you. He froze
And
for a
lost him.
second. Now he's kind of glitchy. But man, you got it from him. I said it, guys. We bring a little bit of everything on this show. That's why we bring other bettors. Some people want to bet parlays, and our guy Nanya brought you that. He's got an 11 a.m. parlay with all the favorites right there. Plus 642. You put Bama, Oklahoma State, LSU, Texas Tech, Michigan, Missouri, Florida State, and NC State all together. You got plus 642. Man, shout out to our guy Nanya back there. Is he maybe trying to say one last thing? You got one last thing for everybody? Are you back? No, he's not back. We tried, Nanya. We tried. Shout out to our guy Nanya, man. Appreciate you, Nanya. Wine time. Moose. I'm gonna hit our bets that we've gotten given to us really quick from everyone, except for that parlay, because that was a long read. That was a long mouthful. Guns came in off the top. Everybody in the chat, he gave us Tulsa. Lines moved plus 18, plus 20.5 is what he got, but it's plus 18 now. Still likes it. Tulane plus 14. ECU money line. It's even money. Plus 100. Moose, I got you on that ECU money line also so far. That's all I got for you. Kong came in. He gave us Georgia first quarter minus 6.5. He's full game 22.5. Then he's also got the Kentucky team total under 9.5 at plus 108. He took Ole Miss minus 21. He took Miami ATS, and he took Texas ATS. And then Wine Time, I got you on the over 55.5 in the Texas game, correct?
Yes, sir.
Outside of that, I'm on the over in the Ole Miss game. Nanya just came in and gave us that parlay, but we are moving, we're rocking, we're rolling. You guys in the chat have been coming in, giving out y'all's bets. Hell yeah, our guy Earl Sports said he can jump on for a minute. You want to pick a game that we can talk about real quick though? Wine Time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's talk about this live stream game that we're going to be live streaming for. Alabama visiting Madison, Wisconsin, 80,000 strong out there, man. These fans are rocking and rolling. They've been there since the early morning tailgate, man. They're having a good time, man. This is a big game for Wisconsin. I've talked about this game so many times, guys. It's kind of crazy. Talked about this last night with Boston, the sauce. Bama, this is, you talk about Kalen DeBoer entering his era there at Alabama. He's had 2 pretty cupcake games. This is going to be his first true road test in a hostile environment in the Big Ten level. He's coming over from the Pac-12. Don't get me wrong. They filled the stands, but there's not this home crowd's going to be something else. It's going to be similar to Utah. Wisconsin's got the big boys up front. They're kind of known for having the bigger guys over there. They're not what they used to be, but they still got some big boys over there. I like what the defensive line is doing. They bring in the quarterback transfer, Tyler Van Dyke. Everyone was talking so highly about this guy 2 years ago when he got to Miami, saying, he had the NFL stature, he had the arm, all that. Couldn't really put it together at Miami. Transfers over here to Wisconsin. Luke Fickell's year 2, being with this Wisconsin program, coming over from Cincinnati, where he turned that program around. Trying to do the same thing in Wisconsin. Tyler Van Dyke, man, he's got a big arm. Number one issue I have with him is his decision making when he's under pressure. Kind of makes some bonehead decisions out there. He's a 5th-year guy. He really has to get past this. This is a big game for him. This is a big game for Wisconsin. Going into this season, I'm actually on the Alabama under 9.5 wins. I counted this as a loss going into the season playing in Madison. Line opened up at 9. We see it all the way up. We saw it go up to 15. Saw it go up to 16, 16.5. I got in at the 16.5. Listen, guys, I think Wisconsin has a chance to get these guys outright. I think these guys are going to want to play. They're going to want to beat this SEC school, show that they're the real deal. It's a big game for Tyler Van Dyke. He's going to have to step up when he's pressured. He's going to have to make some big-time throws. But I just don't see a world where Alabama beats these guys by 16 or more in this spot, especially in Wisconsin. If this was Alabama, it's a completely different story. But I just think Wisconsin having the home field advantage, and then they're going to be aggressive. They're very physical up front, as I already mentioned. They're going to run the ball. It's if they can get pressure on Jaden Milroe. Jaden Milroe likes to throw the deep ball. He likes to take off and run with it too. If you can eliminate that deep ball, though, I think you have a chance to beat these guys outright. I'm going to be on Wisconsin plus 16.5, minus 110 in this one, fellas.
Hell yeah. I want to give Moose a chance to talk about this one too, and I actually want to hit on this one also. But I'm gonna leave it right here with Wine Time at the plus 16.5 on Wisconsin because we got somebody else, and he told me he doesn't have long, so I want to go ahead and cut this breakdown and get to him. Look, this guy, I don't do enough stuff on screen with him, but he's just an outstanding capper. Everybody talks about, how how he's one of the best young guys in the game doing it. He's just one of the best. He just happens to be young and doing it at the same time too. So without further ado, let me bring him up, man. My guy Earl Sports Bets. What up, Earl?
Oh, what up, Nick?
What's good? What's good?
How we
Yeah,
doing?
it's been a while. Yeah, you're talking shit how I don't come on and stuff. I'm like, I have a couple minutes. Let me hop on for a few minutes.
Hell yeah. I was hoping that would work. I was hoping it would
yeah.
work. Glad to get you up here, man.
Good to see you, Nick.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
to see you, my guy.
You see, man.
So you going to the game today?
Yes, I do I'm going to be doing the pregame show on Pirate Radio. So that starts at 12. That goes from 12 up until kickoff. Then I'll go to the game, and then after the game, I'm doing the postgame show as well, which is hosted by Holt Nailers as well. So former ECU quarterback there. So we'll be doing both the pregame and the postgame show, and I will be at the game as well.
Man,
that's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was about to say, how many college football morning shows you get somebody that comes in that does the show for the actual school, man?
Right.
That's dope.
It's fun.
What game did you want to bring to the people today?
See, I will touch on the ECU game. I have 3 games I want to look at. I'll touch on that one last, just because I'll just leave it out. I'll leave off on that one. I'll start with Notre Dame and Purdue. Is anybody in the world on Notre Dame in this spot? Because I've seen nothing but Purdue love all week long. I mean, Notre Dame looked terrible. They lost outright to NIU last week. I got it at 9.5. I'm shocked it's down to a 7.5. Notre Dame wins this by 14 plus. Purdue is not that good of a team, in my opinion. I mean, I think they're an average Big Ten school, and I think this is a good spot for Notre Dame to come in here and take care of business. They've done it in the past against Purdue. They've won, 8 in a row against this team. So this is a team they've owned in the past. I think this is an ultimate buy low spot on Notre Dame. I'm going to lay the points with Notre Dame in this first one.
Yep. Love it.
So
We're on it.
I was waiting for everybody's giving you a head shake instead. I was waiting to see what the guys had to say, but everybody says overreaction week 2, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Overreaction week 3 right here. And I talk about, because, everybody loves to hate A&M, but that's who I grew up liking. And I talk about like the transitional losses and stuff. It's like, just because Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois doesn't mean Northern Illinois would go beat A&M or anything. Like, people got to understand there's huge overreaction in this game. And I looked at Notre Dame, so I couldn't agree more with that breakdown. I love it. Did you guys have anything you wanted to add before we move on to his next one?
Yeah. One thing.
You go, Moose.
This game is very important for Notre Dame because their playoffs could essentially be on the line here. If you lose to Northern Illinois and then you lose to Purdue back-to-back weeks, your playoff hopes are basically done. So I love Notre Dame here. I'll break it down a little bit more in depth because we know we got Earl. He's got to get to his functions as a professional journalist. So I love Notre Dame here. I agree. I shout out to Dutch last week who did call Northern Illinois. And I think the big point was they were coming off a very physical matchup. There were some injuries. And now they've had kind of a second week to recover. I love Notre Dame here. I believe I took them first half and full game.
Beautiful, man.
We were live on the pregame show during the Notre Dame game last week. And before the game started, we were watching what Ball State was doing with Penn State. And I said that it's going to be very similar for NIU, and NIU is going to win the first half live on the show there. So I felt like I read that game pretty well. I had NIU plus the points as well. So it's easy.
Let's go. What's the next one you want us to take?
We'll go to another buy low spot. I'm going with the Seminoles minus 6.5 against Memphis here. It's another spot where I've seen so much love for the Memphis Tigers in this game, and I get it. They're 2-0, but they've played a rebuilding Troy team in North Alabama. Cool.
Right.
Florida State had a bye week last week after getting crushed losing 28-13 against Boston College. They had the overseas game against Georgia Tech, and all of a sudden everybody thinks this is the worst team in the ACC, it feels like. I thought this line should be closer towards double digits in this spot, and I laid the points with Florida State in this game. Another buy low spot for me. I like to try to find when everybody's out on a team, I want to jump in on a team type of thing here. So I'm on Florida State here, laying the points.
It's a good way to be because yeah, that's a good way to be. Did you get? I liked Florida State in this one. I thought about taking first half, and I still might take it today. I know people get weirded about the first half, but just like Notre Dame, there's got to be a sense of urgency for Florida State when they come out of the gate. There has to be a sense of urgency at the start of this game.
These are the kind of games for DJU that he does win. Like, he beats up these kind of teams. Honestly, they can beat this team up pretty good. Honestly, DJU can. I know a lot of hate's going on with DJU right now that he's not performing well. He does well against the teams like this, so expect DJU to have a good game here.
I tell you what, I don't schedule times for people, and I got a few people. That's why it feels like I'm moving now, because one of them's sitting in a hot tub right now, so I don't want to leave him. Yeah, you know, we're all like, oh, we know who that is, so I don't want to leave him too long. But I'd love to hear what you have to say about that ECU game too, my dude.
Yes, we'll finish out on this one here. And even if I didn't have purple and gold in my blood with ECU, I'd be on ECU in this game just the way the market's moving. The public is all over App State spread and money line, yet this line's gone from 2.5 to 1.5. The books are telling you they're not scared of the App State money. Everybody expecting the bounce back game after the blowout against Clemson, which laying the points at Clemson last week was so easy. They were up 35-0 at halftime. I just think this App State team's not that good this year, and they're taking a step down. And one thing you got to keep in mind with East Carolina is doing podcasts with ECU and everything along those lines. We interviewed a few players and things like that. And the game that most of them said they have circled on the card on their schedule this year is this one today. And this is the game that the ECU players will step up, and this is their game of the year, really. And one thing I also noticed, and this is something you only get from a student there, student tickets online are not available anymore. This is the first time I've seen this since I've gone to East Carolina for a football game. You see those with baseball games when we're top 25 in the nation and competing for super regionals and things like that, where you'll see games sell out real quick like that. I've never seen a game sell out like this before. Like, I wasn't able to buy student guest tickets for my brother. Like, they had to look on SeatGeek for them. Like, so that's one thing. This is going to be probably the most packed Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium has been in years. Rightfully so. This East Carolina team 2-0 to start off the year. Granted, competition not great. They played Norfolk State and they played Old Dominion, and they won last week against Old Dominion despite Jake Garcia throwing 4 interceptions. So I think that he can clean it up a little bit. I think they rely a little bit more on the run game, even though he is going to throw the ball a decent amount. I love Rajay Harris, and then you have Landon Montgomery and Gunn in the backfield as well. That's looked really strong this year. I look for ECU to get the win here in this spot. This is the step-up game for me here.
Dude, I'm going to be honest. I do not tail bets, but, you know, you, Moose, and then with the way, I think I'm going to bet ECU today too. I think I'm going to have to go ahead and pull the trigger on it. I'm going to join you guys. I love it, man. You know, I said it off the top. We don't get to do enough stuff together, man. Yeah. I love doing this with you. You're absolutely outstanding, you know, at this thing we call creating gambling content. So we need to get together some more, man. But thank you so much. You got any last words for the chat before we keep this thing rolling?
Fuck App State.
Enjoy,
dude. Bringing the good energy too. That's a good exit, man. Shout out to Earl, man. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Like I said, he's probably he don't roll little joints. So he ain't all the way through it, but he's probably through it a little bit now. And I wanted to make sure I could get him up while the energy's still high. You know, my guy, co-host, the best show on the planet. If you don't tune in on Mondays, I don't know what you're doing. Every Monday, right here on Pub Sports Radio, 11 a.m. Eastern, we do the sesh, and you got to be there. Me and my guy, Dutch Boy Fresh. Dutch, what up?
Dutch. Yeah, man. How we doing?
Let's go.
Yeah, good thing I'm in the motherfucking jacuzzi because I was kept on ice and I rode a fat plane. You're right, Daby Cab. So we about halfway through it. Shout out to the Mai Tai Skittle Cake. Get me right where I need to be. Shout out to the panel, too. Of course, shout out to all the real ones right now holding us down in the chat. But, you know, King Kong's clips came on. Lay the motherfucking wood. You know, I call Nets Bets Mr. Lay the Wood. I mean, Kong clips might be the new one, you know. Shout out to our guy. Shout out to our guy, Nunya. He came on. How did he get my mom's parlay? What the fuck? Nunya got my mom's parlay and gave it out. God damn. I didn't know. Hey, the mama's parlay. Let's go to the window, though, Nunya. And then Earl with some good knowledge, man. He's talking that shit about the Seminoles. Hey, DJ, you might look like you thought he would, Cab. You know, like you said he would. You know, we won't get too much onto that, but I'm just busting your balls. But yeah, DJ, you should look good today. I like the Seminole talk. And I'm with you, Cab. Shit, I don't even fuck with Earl like that, but I almost want to tell the ECU bet. I mean, that was some good inside information. And maybe you want to go to the window on that one.
If there's a bet to tail Dutch, I think that might be it.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Notre Dame look a little bit. You know, I think they were thinking about, obviously, Purdue. You know, they took that week off last week. We done talked about that. But I got 2 plays for you. We went 2-3 last week. Somehow, some way, Wake Forest gave the motherfucking game away. Should have been a profitable day on the tailgate. Hey, we're going to get it tonight. Fresh off the UNLV Rebels win. We took the 9, but they win the motherfucking game. Shout out to Sluka. The boy got heart. I see you one time with the first half, Cash. It's good money,
Kid's a
man.
dog.
But yeah, Sluka did everything he could to get.
He's a dog, man.
Wow. I mean, unbelievable the way he slid out of tackles and did shit. I'm not saying Rebels are not that great. Don't get me wrong, but Sluka, he's a stud. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. We're gonna go to the Civil War. That's right, 3:30 Eastern time, 12:30 right out here on the fresh side. Oregon State hosting the Oregon Ducks. Oregon Ducks somewhat suspect so far this year. Big time favorite, 16.5 point favorite. I took the 16.5. Now, Oregon State has won the prior 2 meetings, and also this comes down to I think Oregon State's a little bit bitter. I mean, Oregon went off into the land. They're in Big Ten, living life now. I mean, shit. What is Oregon? Where are they? They're in Corvallis, Oregon, obviously, but I don't even think they know what fucking division they're in. Obviously, a little bitter there. I think we can kind of take advantage of that as well. But they've beat Oregon outright the last 2 times in Corvallis. Always a tough place to play. I know they're talking it's a day game. It's not going to be night. These motherfuckers is drinking right now, getting ready to thump. These Beavers ain't got shit else to do but get fucked up and root for Oregon State. Believe that. I do think, they have 2 solid running backs, and I do think this Oregon defense could be a little bit skeptical against the run. Now, obviously, the kid from Boise State, Gentry, is a fucking maybe the best back in the nation, but he got 220 yards on these motherfuckers. Actually had 192 against them, 220 total against Oregon last week. Boise State did. And Oregon State's averaging 300 yards a game on the ground in their first 2 games. Now you look at the schedule and say who they play. I mean, the motherfuckers they put in front of them, and they're racking up damn near 300 yards on the ground. Dual threat, Griffin and Hankerson can both tuck it and run with it. I like these boys to stay in the game. Oregon hasn't wowed me by any means, so I'm taking Oregon State to run the football, play some defense, and be live to win the motherfucking game. We're taking the 16.5 to the window. I like that look an awful lot. And then we're going to go to Daby Cab motherfucking country. Well, it's in Florida, so I guess consider it as my crazy ass country. But we are talking Aggies, and we're talking the Florida Gators. Probably the most marquee game on the slate today. A lot of motherfuckers like Florida. And, when you look at the road record, I mean, I can't tell you the last time the Aggies won on the road against a good football team. I mean, so I'm rooting for my guy. But I can understand all the love for Florida. But I don't see it. I don't think Lagway, off of what he did last week, yes, he threw for 400 crazy fucking yards. Looked like the best thing going against absolutely nobody. Against Texas A&M, he did lead him to, against Miami in the blowout loss, he did lead him to a touchdown, but he was 3 of 6 for 31 yards and an interception. That doesn't wow me. So you just think he's going to go against this above average defense in the Texas Aggies and the Texas A&M Aggies and just throw the ball all over the field like it's fucking high school all over again? I don't see it. I think the Aggies have allowed 6 points in the first half so far in these 2 games. And honestly, that was to Notre Dame scoring the 6 in the first half. Through 2 games, allowing 128 yards passing on the ground. So realistically, you can't throw the ball against this Aggies defense. And that has a lot to do with the elite pass rush they have on that line. So Florida's averaging 102 rushing yards a game. It's not very good. I think they're going to make Lagway beat him with the arm, and that's not going to fucking happen. So I'm on the under first half, 23.5. I like it an awful lot. I'm on the full game too, but that line moved a little bit. So for content purposes, 23.5 first half is good money. I think Aggies should win this game. It scares me how much Florida's on. Maybe the 4 is live, but I think the Aggies find a way. And Weigman's not going to wow you. This motherfucker has 225 passing yards through 2 games. He had 30 attempts in game 1 against Notre Dame, 100 fucking yards and 2 picks. Don't turn over the football. They're not going to go up and down the field on Florida by any means. Carry the ball, run the fucking football like the head coach says, and play defense. I think they get out of the swamp with a W, but the under is definitely good money.
Of course, I found the fucking graphic right at the end. I just now saw it. We know where I'm at this one, and I'll talk about it, Dutch, because I know you've been, like I said, you've been baking in there. So I'll talk about it after a little bit, but I like the under. I like Oregon State, man. Good shit last night with UNLV. You sent me that one early. Good call on that. Man, I appreciate you coming on because I know it's way early out there for you. So thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, man, the wife be sleeping, so I said, fuck it, let me get some recovery mode in. And but talk to me, Moose. How we feeling about this Oregon game? And are you on the under in Florida? game?
Yeah, I am. I really like the under. The DBs missing for Texas A&M is concerning, but dude, they got depth. Like they got depth this year, so I really like that. And DJ Lagway, I mean, yeah, he looked really, really good when he came in against an inferior opponent. This is going to be his first ever experience in the SEC, and you know they're going to have some drawn up plays, but I don't see him getting off to a very good start. And Texas A&M has, they look like they've been trying to run in peanut butter, and they're just not going anywhere. They're more concerned with what the spoon's going into it than rather than what their spoon's trying to get out of it. So I feel like this is a really good spot for a first half under. Full game is fine, but I kind of think that if Lagway figures it out a little bit, I think that's where the Florida love is coming, is that they're thinking this guy who looked better than Merce did on the first game, that he's going to start figuring out in the second game. I don't know, but I love the first half under. I'm right there with you. I got it at 23. I didn't know that it went to 23.5. I love it even more. But yeah, first half under 23. Love it.
Well, I got it at 23.5. Like I tweeted this shit out like 2 days ago. So it might be 23 now, but I think anything under 21 is good. Anything under 3 touchdowns, good money in that one. And you're right. Lagway could, because this defense, like if you watch the Notre Dame game, the Aggies defense started tiring out a little bit. That's when the Notre Dame started moving the ball because it's just 3 and out. It don't matter how good your fucking defense is. If you don't move the ball offensively, your defense is going to tire down. It's just what it is. So, how about this Oregon State Beaver game? This is kind of in your neck of the woods. Wine time, talk to me, my man.
Yeah, I'm actually on the other side in that one. I don't have an official play or anything like that. I'm not on it. No bet on it for me. I was leaning the Oregon side just because they've been in some close matchups lately. I think they can go out to Corvallis and blow the doors off those guys. They have the talent to. I'm not saying they're going to. They need to fix some issues up front. Their offensive line has been struggling the first couple of games. Oregon State has a pretty good defensive line and a good defense. That's kind of what they've been known for these last couple of years. That's what kind of their old coach brought in for Oregon State. It's going to be a good one. Honestly, it's in Corvallis. As you mentioned, they've beaten them there the last 2 times. Nothing on this game. I'll be rooting for Oregon State for you, but I was leaning towards the Oregon side in that one. And in this Florida game, I got to play on this one, guys. I'm on the Florida +4. I see it's down to a +3. I absolutely love that. Talked about that Miami-Florida game, the first game of the season. A lot of people are saying, the Swamp's a tough place to play. It's just that Miami team was just on a completely another level than anyone thought going into the season. They were just that good going into there. They're going to be playing in the Swamp here again. Mentioned DJ Lagway. I was a big fan of this kid in high school. Watched his high school tape his junior and senior year. Probably the best quarterback in high school in the nation. He was a 5-star recruit going over to Florida. Very talented. He's got every tool in the shed, but as you mentioned, this is a very elite SEC line. Over the summer, I was texting Cab about this defensive line from Texas A&M. They're nasty over there. You get to the quarterback. They want to rush the quarterback. It's going to be interesting to see what DJ Lagway can do. If this was in A&M, I would be on A&M, but it's in Florida, so I'm going to go with the Swamp in this one, Florida plus the 4 points.
Do I have to write that? Yeah. I write that down, Florida plus. I'll write it down.
Yeah, it's a
that 4 is a fucking beautiful thing, bro. Like it's almost like
last night.
No, let me
Notre Dame.
Dutch, before you say, because you're right. It's look, the books were like, no way anybody bets A&M -3.5 in Florida, right? And then they're wait. Let's go ahead and put that thing at 4.5 so that we can get some more bets from Florida. And then we'll bring it back to no, let's put it at 4 because nobody's going to bet A&M, right? Let's put it at 4. Let's take some more Florida love. Go ahead, Robert. Go ahead, one. You guys keep loading up. Keep loading up.
That's not an Atlanta Braves hat. That's an Aggies hat. He got that A. He said Aggies. Hey, what is that? Your full game? No, not first half here, Cab?
Yeah, I got 3.5 full game.
Why'd you stay away from first half? It seems more like a first half spot here. I know you're a first half guy, so I'm gonna get out of here. But I honestly thought you'd be on Aggies first half.
A&M, Arkansas, and Oklahoma State are 3 teams that for some reason I just can't remember. Yeah.
Okay.
No. Or no, I didn't. I said Arkansas. Arkansas, you got to go first half. Excuse me. A&M and
Arkansas's coaching, like their decision making last week was very questionable. Like I think they gave that shit away. I know. Let's not talk about that again. But shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We vibing out. I'm excited for college football. Honestly, that show gets me. I wake up, I'm like, fuck, it's early. And then it's kind of like the sesh. I say the same thing, and then as soon as we go live, I'm like, all right, bet, let's go. And it's the same vibe right here to Daby Cab. So, I'm glad you get experience on Saturdays. I'm glad that I came over to the college football side with you fellas. Let's get this motherfucking money, man. I'll stay right in the chat. Hit the likes.
Yeah.
Run it up. Go ahead.
Good shit.
No, I was going to say, hell yeah, man. Can't wait to see you again on Monday. Let's get paid, bro.
All right, fellas. Let's win.
Shout out to my guy Dutch, man. Bringing the best
For
energy.
sure.
The best energy.
Always.
For sure.
And this usually Wine Time, you're not here for this point in the show. Shout out Wine Time gets to stay with us today, so you guys get a little extra treat. This is where I always tell Moose to say, okay, we've gone through the guest chat. Now it's time to figure out what Moose is betting. It's time to figure out what Wine Time's betting. Time to talk about what you guys in the chat are betting. And I'll hit what I got bet also. But real quick, we just got over 130 people just a second ago. It's fluctuating, but we got over 130. That 250 mark, if we hit that 250 mark, it'll make it the best show. In order for that to happen, I need you guys to hit the like button, share it, get it out to people. Let them know we're already over an hour in. And we've got, well, let's hit them. Let's hit the bets one more time before we start. Guns, Tulsa plus 18, Tulane plus 14, ECU money line, even money. Moose, he's got ECU money line also, even money. He's got Florida first half under 23.5. Kongs has Georgia first quarter minus 6.5, full game 22.5. He has the Kentucky team total under 9.5 at plus 108. Old Miss, ATS, he's got Miami minus 36.5. He's got Texas minus 33.5. Let's go. Wine Time so far has given us the over 55.5 in the Texas game. He's given us Wisconsin plus 16.5 against Bama and Florida plus 4 against A&M. Then Nunya came in and gave us, as Dutch called it, his mama's parlay. Bama, Oklahoma State, LSU, Texas Tech, Michigan, Missouri, Florida State, NCU, all the big favorites in the early games, but on the money line, not the spread. Like Nunya said, that's the key. Just get the wins, plus 642. Got a special guest dropping in. Earl Sports came in. He gave us Notre Dame 9.5, Florida State 6.5, ECU money line, and his ECU breakdown was gold. If you missed it, run it back to where Earl Sports was and listen to it. Trust me. Then we got Dutch came in and gave us Oregon State plus 16.5 and the under 23.5 first half in the Florida game. Like I said, we fucking rapid fire on that. God, it's a mouthful even going through those bets, and we haven't even got to all of ours yet. But let's do it. I'm going to let you guys take one. Like, I'll start. Moose, you'll give me a game. You'll talk about it. Wine Time will hit it. We'll hit it. Then I'll let Wine Time pick one, so on and so on until we ask the chat at the end. Moose, which one do you want me to put up here?
Is it okay? I have a family member here from the herd. Is it okay if they come in and make a bet?
Yeah. You got a family member here?
Yeah, I got a family member. He's coming in right here. He wants to make a bet here. There you go. So he's been looking over my shoulder quite a bit. So I just wanted to give him a little time here. Yes, we're doing this. All right. So here we go. Everybody, I'd like you to meet my family member, Sig Moose. Sig Moose has a play in the Vanderbilt Georgia State game. Diego Pavia is a real moosh and has looked very moose so far. Georgia State has been run over more than my old friend Larry. Poor guy never saw the truck coming. Speaking of not coming, Moose Money got a great view of how well Vanderbilt started their week 1 matchup. Georgia State took a long time to get up, kind of like Moose Money after a Padres loss and a shot of whiskey. Vanderbilt has covered the number in both first halves. Georgia State has not. Moose Money wrote more about it on a Google Doc, and probably only 8 people ever read it. So if you want more info, please go there. But I am on the Vanderbilt first half under a touchdown and the team total over 27.5. I hope some of our other not so rapid fire guests took some notes here. Remember when Jose took longer than Cab does to unmute his mic? And sidebar, does anyone else think Jose looks like he was just held back for the 3rd time in 8th grade? Make sure you get those notes safe and secure in your Trapper Keeper, little buddy. It was Moose to meet all of you. Best of Moose.
Muted, Cab.
Oh, well, fuck it.
Dude, that on point, right? On point.
Look, I thought that was the dumbest shit ever until you made the coming joke about speaking of not coming. I bought in after that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You sold me after that. That was funny. So what were the bets one more time?
Vanderbilt team total over 27.5 and Vanderbilt first half minus 6.5.
Team total what? Over what?
All right, I'll go through again. Vanderbilt team total over 27.5 at minus 115.
Okay.
And Vanderbilt first half minus 6 at minus 110.
Nice. All right. Wine Time. Which game we going to next?
Yeah, guys, let's go right to, let's see here. All right, let's go to the game that I will be attending today, fellas. For those of you that don't know, I will be attending the UCLA game today at the Rose Bowl, the Big Ten opener. Got a lot to talk about in this one, guys. First Big Ten game for both teams. We saw Indiana come off a 77-something victory over a junior varsity high school football team in the middle of Texas. Looked like they just had the better athletes on the field every single play. Couldn't cover these guys in man coverage. They couldn't take these guys one-on-one on the line. This was just an embarrassment kind of game. With that being said, Indiana is 2-0 going into this game, outscoring their opponents 100-something to not a lot. Everyone is on this Indiana team going into this game here. It's going to be UCLA's first Big Ten game. It's going to be at the Rose Bowl. When this line originally came out, when I checked it, it was about 200 bets placed. It was about a +1 for UCLA. Went all the way up to a +3. I see we're at a 3.5 right now, just with money continuing to just pour in on Indiana right now. Talking about UCLA coming off a bye week in week 2. They played in week 1 against Hawaii, where they struggled in the first half. It was probably one of the worst first halves I've ever seen. Being a UCLA fan. With that being said, they came out the second half with some urgency. They only scored 16 points, but it was enough to get the win. Ethan Garbers was moving the ball a lot better. They need to get the run game involved, though. They got a really good running back in TJ Harden. This guy's an NFL back. He was the starting running back last year, and their other guy got drafted, and he's the third string running back on the Chiefs right now. TJ Harden's a beast, man. They got to make some room up front for him to run. Indiana, too, on their side, they like to run the ball. What does UCLA do? They stop the run. They were one of the best at stopping the run last year. Yeah, you lost a couple guys to the NFL and the D coordinator. They hired within, brought up their defensive linemen who recruited all those guys. These guys want to play for him. This is their coach. These guys look nasty out there on the defensive line. If Indiana's going to try to run on them, they're not going to be successful at it. And then you bring in this 6-year quarterback out of Ohio. He was all MAC last year. Guy looked like really good last game again against a junior varsity high school football team, give or take. It's going to be a lot more competition stepping up here. Both these UCLA cornerbacks are NFL prospects. Jalen Davies, Devin Kirkwood. These guys have played a lot of big-time ball in the Pac-12, a lot of games, the 3 or 4-year starters. I don't see how Indiana's going to move the ball here too well against this UCLA defense. I'm worried about what UCLA offense can do. I think the enemy's going to come out with a better game plan. I don't think they really showed anything in that first week. I think they just kind of wanted to get away with the win. That being said, you're going to give me 3.5 points with the team playing at the Rose Bowl at home in the first Big Ten game, going with their coach that every player wanted. Deshaun Foster, give me +3, +3.5 UCLA in this one, guys. I think they're going to get them outright. This isn't a homer pick by any means. I don't think UCLA is a very good squad this year. I think they're going to win maybe 5 games. I took them over 5 wins. I'm not sure if they're even going to be able to get there, but this is a game that they very well should and could win. And giving them 3.5 points, in my opinion, is disrespectful. So give me UCLA +3.5.
Hell yeah. Man, I'm going to let Moose hit this one. But just like we talked about Earl Sports knowing, ECU, Wine Time knows his UCLA. So make sure you guys are taking notes when he talks about it. And he doesn't homer bet him. He'll fade him if that's the.
I'll fade him all the time, man. If I just see it, this usually is a spot where I see, it's weird that they are a dog. In my opinion, they have the better athletes. They have the better team. They don't have the better coach. But this is a UCLA spot, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Shout out to you guys, man. Rod Zawacki coming in. Dropping good stats in there. He said UCLA has won each of its last 8 September games against non-AP ranked teams. Shout out to my guy Big Show out there in the chat, man. I got to say this. Make sure you guys tune into the UFC here on Pub Sports Radio. We got the live stream right after this. So be here with us on the live stream. And then after that, right here on Pub Sports Radio, you got the best UFC guys right here doing it every week, week in and week out. They kill it. The Locker Room podcast is on Tuesday. They give you the bets early in the week, and then they sit right here and live bet it with you guys on fight night. So make sure you guys tune in right here, Pub Sports Radio. Thanks for everything you guys do, Big Show. Keep up the good work, man. Everybody in the chat. Nate Dodd, Robert Franklin. He said he's got UCLA under 47 in that game. Robert Franklin said he's on the under.
I like the under, too. It's going to be hard to score in this game. I mean, I don't know how Indiana is going to put too many points up against UCLA, and I don't know what UCLA's offense is going to do. Deshaun Foster's a running backs coach. I mean, the last 6 of his running backs have gone to the NFL. They've grown trees out there at UCLA right now. He's going to want to be enemy to start running the ball early in this game and get the run game involved early like they didn't do in that first game.
Moose, you got any thoughts on UCLA before we go to your next one?
Yeah, one big one. Does UCLA know how to run the offense with Eric Bieniemy? Because, no, look. When he was at Kansas City, when he was at Kansas City, like that was an issue early on in that season. Like Mahomes even was like, hey, we're still figuring this out. We're still figuring this out. You know, there's some complicated, complex things that are going on here. And now you're talking about, 19, 20, 21-year-olds that are trying to figure this out. They're coming off a bye. They're coming off a bye too. And that's very ideal here. But I don't know. UCLA is 4-0 straight up, 3-1 ATS in their home openers over the last 4 or 5 years. But I don't know what to expect from UCLA's offense, especially a Signetti defense that has generally created a lot of havoc. I mean, they have been a very good defense over the past years when he was at James Madison. So I don't really know what to expect here. I definitely lean Indiana, but I am not going to try to go up against the enemy coming off of a bye week where he had more time to work with his players. But that game against Hawaii might be a little overblown in terms of how they're performing, because I think eventually the UCLA offense will be decent, but I don't want to bet on when that's going to happen. So I am off here.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. What's the next game you want to take us to? I'm going to keep going till you guys tell me that it's time to let the chat ask questions. Chat, have your questions ready, man. We've had over 200 people this whole time. Some people are probably getting a couple people have dwindled out to go get bets in, but like I said, we got over 230 just a minute ago. Thank you guys in the chat. We're going to keep it rolling. If you have questions, get them ready because we want to answer them. Thank you to all the members, the donations. We do this for free. You've got 7-8 different cappers that you can tail or not tail, fade, whatever you want, but it's all free. You're not having to pay for it here at Pub Sports Radio. So the support means the world, whether it's a like button or a membership. Thank you guys. Also, if you're going to place these bets today, go to Bet Online, use promo code Pub Sports Radio. They will match you up to $1,000, and it does not have to be cryptocurrency. I'm going to say that again. You do not have to use cryptocurrency. Bet Online, promo code Pub Sports Radio. They match you up to $1,000. You put one stack in, you get two. It's that easy. Moose, what's the next game we're rolling to?
You know what? I just asked a prop question, so let me just hit a couple of props here, if that's all right.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, I'm going to pull up one that I want to bet. So let's hit those props.
All right, so the first prop I'm going to go to is I'm going to run it back on Eli Holstein. He's going up against West Virginia, and West Virginia has really struggled to generate pressure. And if West Virginia is not generating pressure, that secondary is not good. It's not good. I mean, they did just come off of a game where they faced Albany that was able to rattle off 70 plays. I mean, a big reason since he lost was penalties and the run game slowing down. But most of the game since he was able to get chunks of yards, but later in the game, the rushing attack started playing behind the chains. And I kind of liked what I saw from Pitt. They really started figuring out the passing game. If there's not a ton of pressure, Holstein is going to tear this secondary apart. West Virginia running the ball takes me off an over or a team total, but Holstein passing is very intriguing. He was able to throw for over 200 yards in the second half alone. I'm not sure if anybody watched that game, but going into the half, I believe he was only at 78 yards or something like that, and he ended up with over 300. So I'm gonna hop right back on the prop. So even if West Virginia does generate, a pass rush and Pitt is playing behind, the secondary for West Virginia is poor enough that a second half surge is fully on the table. The number's a bit higher than I'd like, a few yards higher than I'd like, but I'll still take the chance. So Eli Holstein passing yards over 268 and a half at minus 115.
Hell yeah. I'm looking to try right now. So I'll just go ahead and say it because I can't get a number on it still. I can't get a number on it in my book, and I can't get a number on it anywhere. I've been wanting, depending on the number, to bet KJ Jefferson's rushing prop today against TCU. I think that Jefferson might run the ball 18 times today, even out of the quarterback position. And I cannot find a damn number on this prop in my book.
I'm dealing with the same thing with Corey Kiner. I'm not able to get a number on Kiner because I think Kiner has a really good game against the Miami OD that has not stopped the rush very well. And Sensby he's injured a little bit. That ankle, he did not look the same in the second half there. I just talked about how Cincinnati kind of started to slow down a little bit, and all of a sudden Pittsburgh started stacking the box a little bit more. I think Kiner has a huge game here. I think they lean on him quite heavily. And if I could get rush props on Kiner here, I would absolutely be on that as well. But it's not showing up at the three books that I use. So I'm unfortunately not able to bet that.
See, look, Dutch just dropped it in the chat. I can't look at this shit. It's literally not offering it. This is all they're offering on my book right now. And I can't find it on the one that shows the other books either. You can get touchdown. That's it. Touchdown is the only prop that they have for KJ right now. That makes no sense. So let me say this to everyone. They might be holding it back for a reason because I think he's going to run the ball a lot against TCU. And when I say a lot, I'm going to say 15 to 20 carries against TCU. And whatever his prop is, it's not high enough. I don't care what they put it at. I'm betting KJ Jefferson's rushing prop as soon as it's available to me. He's the transfer out of Arkansas that went to UCF. And I think he's the only thing that UCF's going to have going for him in this game. One time. What's the next game? Because guys, it's crazy how fast this goes. We're already almost at 1:30. We're almost at an hour 30 here.
Shout out to everyone in the chat, man. We got over 120 likes, I believe, right now, man. Thanks for coming out. We got kickoff here in 30 minutes. I got one more game to talk about in this one, guys. We're gonna go to the Apple Cup. It's gonna be playing in Lumen Field between Washington and Washington State. I got on this number early. I thought I was going to get the better number. I ended up getting the worst number on it. I'm on Washington State in this spot, guys. I like what that quarterback, John Mateer, is doing over there. He's looking really comfortable in these first couple games. That first game, he looked kind of like how Cam Moore did at Washington State last year. He was his backup the last 2 years. He knows this offense. Jake Dicker, another coach I highly respect, who I'm really high on, honestly. Really good for this program. John Mateer not only could throw it, but he can run it. He had over almost 200 rushing yards last game. He pretty much lays it all on the line, kind of like that kid Matthew Sluka last night we saw from UNLV. He's going to give it everything he has. Looking at Washington on the other side, bringing in Jed Fisher begins, starting off 2-0 here. Bringing in Will Rogers, the 6-year transfer quarterback. Went to a couple schools. I believe Mississippi State was one he was at the most. Couldn't really get drafted, so he wanted an extra year of eligibility. Comes over to Washington, where the offense does fit him correctly. He gets the ball out quick. He doesn't have the big arm, kind of like Michael Penix does. He's more of a game time manager. This is an in-state rivalry game, guys. Wazoo is not a Power 4 program anymore. Washington is. I think this is a very big game for Washington State. I think they're going to want to get these guys outright. I think they can get them outright. I think they can compete against them. I think they have the athletes. The offensive line has been holding up very well compared to what it was last year. They made improvements, not just improvements, but brought back a lot of the same guys from last year that have played ball together. So protecting the quarterback up front, give her yet first two opponents, nothing to write home about. Portland State and, Texas Tech, still a Power 4 program, a good program. That's been good over the years. And, they dominated that game completely from start to finish. It wasn't even close. Give me Washington State in this one at the best number, plus 5.5 in a game that I think they're going to be able to get very well outright. I hate that it moved away from me. I originally got this at plus 4 on Tuesday, so I'm losing 1.5 in value. I thought it was going to go down to a 3. I've seen everyone is hammering Washington, but it is going towards their way. Doesn't mean anything. Give me Washington State at the best number.
Hell yeah. Moose, I'm about to let you say your thoughts on this game, but I want you guys in the chat, go ahead and start dropping your questions. Wine Time, you're not usually here this late in the show. We do we call it Moose droppings for the segment. I think your Sig Moose might have to be a thing now too. He did pretty good. Yep. And we have our Moose droppings. I sent Jose a picture. Well, let's say Moose in it, a picture of him. That's perfect for the Moose droppings. I don't know why we don't have a graphic yet, but we don't have it. The whole point of the Moose droppings at the end of the show is for you guys in the chat to ask questions, because since this is rapid fire, I realize that we might not talk about a game, a player, or something that you want to hear. So I want to give you that opportunity to hear it. So any questions or any games that we haven't hit, put them in the chat. I'm going to let Moose and Wine Time wrap up. I'm going to hit my bets. And then we'll go over everybody's bets again and get the fuck out of here, because this goes quick and we're coming up on kickoff now. Moose, Washington State.
Yeah. All right. So Wine Time already talked about it a little bit. Dickert is 9-5-1 as a dog, but most of that success has been at home. This is a neutral site, and it's at a site where UW used to actually play their home games. But Washington State has looked very good on the ground, and I imagine that will be their plan of attack and avoid the strength of the Washington defense, which is their secondary. Bias be told, I was low on Washington going into the year and saw this game as the game to attack. This game has crawled from an 8.5 back in August to reopening this past weekend at over a touchdown and got bet down to 4. But now it is, obviously getting bet the other direction. I 100% agree that it's the right move, and I think that this game should be under a field goal. But lines don't move according to what I think. I'll take the Cougs plus the points and a larger sprinkle on the money line. And Wine Time, since you're hearing this, I swear I got here on my own. I feel like I need to acknowledge this because you've been so obviously hot early in this year, and I have so obviously started this year not. So I'm hoping this is me finding my stride and seeing what someone else who's successful is seeing, and not that my stink has rubbed off on you. No matter what, I think both of us can agree on one major thing here. Go Cougs.
Let's go. Go Cougs, baby. Let's go. Love it.
I got a plus 4.5, and I'm sprinkling the money line at plus 170.
Okay,
Sir.
so plus 4.5. I think this graphic might be wrong. Let me pull it up and see though if it is, because the first question it says the wrong thing, but he got it right. The first question in the chat is a game that I can't believe we haven't even talked about yet. Look, I'm actually kind of high on South Carolina in this spot. I have not bet it. I think this is a game that South Carolina can cover, maybe even win at home. I mean, South Carolina is becoming a tough place to play these past few years, and I don't know. I'm pretty high on them. Shout out to is it Mana? Shout out to Mana. Hope I got that wrong or got that right. Asking about this game. What are your thoughts on this one right here, one time?
Yeah, this is a game that I have the under, and I think both these teams are going to play to the under. LSU's defense has improved dramatically. We saw what they did against USC, and USC they're looking like a contender this year as of right now. Given that it's only 2 games, but they're looking pretty good. And LSU defense hung in there with them. South Carolina on the other side playing well as well. This is going to be a hostile environment in South Carolina. I think both teams are going to want to run the ball. That's what they do. And I think South Carolina, if they're going to want to stay in this game, they're going to have to keep their offense on the field as long as they can. I saw that this total dropped about an hour ago. It was at a 7. It's at a 6 now in favor of South Carolina. Lines moving towards South Carolina. You mentioned it, Cab. I think South Carolina can get these guys outright. I don't have anything on the spread in this one, but I'm on the under 48 in a game that I think isn't going to hit 45. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring SEC smash mouth type of game.
Hell yeah. Moose, I want you to take it. I'll say this real quick, though. People got to remember college football, like LSU losing to USC, or trying to think of Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois, right? Some of these big games, like in the old landscape, you're done. I mean, you lose a football game, your season's over, right? This is not the college football landscape anymore. We have 12 teams that are going, I'll say one thing about LSU is they somehow find a way to win 10 football games. It seems like every year, even no matter how bad they start, they seem to find a way to win 10 football games. And if they do that again this year, they very easily are in that pack of 12. Same thing for Notre Dame. So what? You lost to Northern Illinois, pick yourself off the ground and go out there and don't lose another football game, and you're fine. Moose, what's your thoughts on this one?
All right. You mentioned South Carolina being a tougher place to play, but in their last 9 home openers, South Carolina is 2-7 against the spread. As a home dog, Shane Beamer is 4-4 ATS, and in conference in the SEC, he is 12-12 ATS. I think the line movement has to do a lot with the injuries that you see. If you go to the injury report, LSU has got a significant amount of injuries, and at the top of that list is Emory Johnson, who really did establish himself as the lead guy. But going into the year, it was going to be Caleb Jackson. Like that was the guy that was supposed to be the dude. And now that he's essentially kind of de facto lead running back, I have 0 issues with that. Yes, I get South Carolina shut down Kentucky, but it was also Kentucky playing really, really poorly. When I first looked at this game, I immediately thought this was an LSU game, and there's too much of an overreaction to LSU losing to USC and then not covering versus Nichols, and even going into half leading only by 9. Against an FCS, LSU was only leading by 9 points. But there's one really big question that I really don't feel confident in the answer. I don't know what to expect from the LSU rush attack. Caleb Jackson has had 2 opportunities to get rolling and looked bad. I 100% believe, though, that he turns it around, and I think he turns it around here. I don't think he's going to have a huge game, but I think he has a good game. The pass protection has been awful, but LSU hasn't generated South Carolina has not exactly had a very good pass protection, and LSU hasn't really generated much pass rush. So I think the LSU actually gets after the quarterback here. South Carolina benefited from field position versus Kentucky, and LSU only had 1 turnover. The line getting bet down from 10 is the right direction, but I think this is a little bit of an overcorrect. And if you're giving me LSU under a touchdown, which is where we're at now, I'm on LSU here. I took the bait. I'm saying, all right, if you're going to move that line that much from a double-digit score to under a touchdown, I'll take LSU. I'll take the bait. I will take Brian Kelly on the road where he is 5-3, and he has been an absolute dog on the road. So I will go LSU minus 6.5. I got that at minus 113 earlier in the week. I do lean LSU team total over, but I didn't bet that. That's just a lean.
Let's go.
My guy, Silent Bob, said Cox money line today. He loves it. Shout out to you coming in the chat, Silent Bob. All right, Moose, wine time. If you guys have a thought, this is boom. You just respond to it. It's not a drawn out thing because I'm not good at time management. I'm sorry, guys. Thoughts on Central Michigan plus 21, Moose? That's the question from Tom.
I got nothing. I got nothing there. Central Michigan is not a team I'm really trying to put my money on.
Okay.
Nothing for me. Nothing for me. Apologies.
Nothing. No worries. See if I missed. If I'm missing questions, guys, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get them. Chang asked for each of us to give one play for him to put $100 on. So basically a parlay I think he's going to put together. I'll go with the over in the Ole Miss. What do you got, Moose?
Let me throw a game that we have not talked about here. Boston College. You know what? I'm going to go Colorado at Colorado State. I'm going first half Colorado State. Colorado has looked awful in both first halves. First half against North Dakota. First half against Nebraska. I mean, Dion seems to be a little too overhyped for the first half and then starts figuring it out in the locker room. So I like Colorado State that has had much better first halves the first 2 weeks of the year.
Okay. Wine time. What's your one?
I'm going to say let's give out Wisconsin plus 16.5.
Okay. And we'll be live for that one here. And I should be going live for it in like 5 minutes. Probably not going to be there in 5. It'll probably be like 10 or 15. Robert said Tulane plus 13. You guys don't like?
I lean it.
Lean it.
I think the number has moved a little too much. I was kind of hoping Oklahoma might get under the 10 threshold. But we talked about it a little bit. Shaz Preston, he's coming back for Tulane. You have Mario Williams and Shaz Preston. That could be one of the best 1-2 wide receiver combos in the country. Oklahoma has an injury at center. They do have talent behind him, but I think that the number under 10 would be Oklahoma. It never got there, so the number at Tulane.
Our guy, Voodoo Ranger, said McCall over 240. He looked better last game. He looked like he started to get a little bit more comfortable. I wasn't super high on him. I think it was more Coastal Carolina's offense is why he looked so good for several years. That triple option, the way they threw the ball out of it, opened it. So I don't know, Voodoo. For me, I'd say I don't know on that one. Again, guys, if I miss you, I'm sorry. I'm trying. Manbear Pig, shout out to you, man. Haven't said that name today. Good to see you in here. He said he wants thoughts on La Tech NC State game. He thinks La Tech might be a chance to win outright. Somebody gave us a bet on that, didn't they? Somebody was on NC State. Oh, I think that was just a part of the parlay that Nunny put together. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Anything NC State?
Nothing for me.
Nothing.
It's difficult to know what NC State's trying to do on offense. I mean, I 100% agree with you, Cab. I mean, McCall was a triple option guy. Having him drop back as a passer and not really scheme runs for him is perplexing to say the least. But I'd probably lean North Carolina State here as a bounce back, trying to, get back on their feet after an absolute beatdown by Tennessee. No, we are on that together there, Cab. But La Tech is just a team I don't really know too much about and really haven't dove in on my Moose dives yet. It'll come at some point, but it didn't come this last week.
Man, you guys in the chat, y'all make this fun, man. Shout out Caleb. Shout out Miami Chuck. Good to see you. Andrew G. Boogeyman. He said Coastal Temple. It's a large spread. I would lean Coastal because they've been putting up. I mean, Coastal's been quietly doing that shit again. I think people are off of them this year after the 3 years of betting them a lot. And I think maybe Coastal's back to covering those spreads for people, Boogeyman. I did not bet that game, though. But shout out to everybody, man. Tom Leach, Doug Wise, JT, my dude. I got to get you up here, JT. We got to get in the DMs. I want to get you up here. Thank you, guys. If you can, when this ends, we still got over 200 people rocking with us. If you can, leave a comment below, not on the live comments, on the actual comments. Let us know what you think about the show. Drop your action there so other people can come back and see it. And we're about to review ours right here. But thank you, guys. Can't thank you enough. Thank you to the members. Let's recap action here. Wine time. I'm gonna let you recap yours first. I can hit them all if you guys want. I got it all written down. But
yeah, you can hit them, Cab.
Okay, if I miss anything, tell me, because there was a point when I was like, wait a second, Moose and Wine Time can recap their own, but I got everybody else's. Wine Time, I got you on the over 55.5 in Texas. I got you on Washington State plus 5.5. I got you on Wisconsin plus 16.5, Florida plus 4, UCLA plus 3.5. I think there was something else I didn't write down.
Yeah, the over in the Texas ETSA game. Oh, did you already say that?
Yeah, that was
my bad. The under in the LSU South Carolina under 48.
okay. Under LSU South Carolina. Okay, and so there we go. Bunch of action from Wine Time, man. I loved having you here the whole time today. Bunch of action from our guy Wine Time right there. Moose, what do you got?
I have the Cougs again, Washington State. I got that at +4.5. But if you want to take it the 5.5 with the money line, first half Colorado State +4 and money line. Boston College at Missouri over 53.5. First half full game on Notre Dame. ECU money line. Vanderbilt first half, Vanderbilt team total, Eli Holstein passing yards over 268.5. And one more prop, Chandler Morris for North Texas passing yards over 296.5. Got that at -125. And Mo Harris, what's up, dude? I see you out there. What's cracking, my boy?
Hell yeah, Mo. Anytime I miss somebody, man, I'm sorry. I'm trying to write these down and keep it. I don't want to miss any of you guys in the chat because, like I say, Mo, this is all about you guys. We don't have it without you, Mo. So thank you, man, for being here. There you go. Moose got his. I'll hit mine. I got A&M. I took them at 3.5. If you got to pay 4 now, whatever. Call it a homer bet. Call it whatever you want. I don't care. I call it Wine Time. Moose. All you guys are on Florida. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Everybody's on Florida, bro. Everybody is on Florida that I know. And that number ain't coming down. So we'll see. I need it. If A&M fucks me here, I will not bet them again the rest of the year. I got the over in the Ole Miss game. Now, I did get it at 63, and it's at 64.5 now. But if you tuned into the Pete Loshak show on Tuesday, you would have got it at 63. I still like 64.5. No big deal. So the over Ole Miss Wake Forest game. And then I am for sure going to bet the rushing prop for KJ Jefferson. I say for sure, unless it's like fucking 200 yards, I won't bet it. But like, I'm 90% sure I'm going to bet that thing as soon as I get a number on it. I don't have it yet. I think Jefferson is going to have a ton of yards against TCU. I think he might run the ball 15, 20 times. And then I'm going to hit that ECU money line with my guy Moose and with my guy Earl Sports because he came on here and absolutely just dominated that breakdown. So shout out to him. And let's go over everyone else real quick. Earl Sports, while we're on the topic, he came in, he gave out Notre Dame -9.5. He gave out Florida State -6.5. And he gave out ECU even money on the money line. Make sure he does the pregame show for the ECU Pirates football team on campus. Doesn't get any more inside information than that. So make sure you guys check our guy out. Dutch, shout out to my dude, Dutch Boy Fresh. He came on here. He gave us Oregon State +17. He gave us the under in the first half in the Florida A&M game. That's under 23.5. So shout out to him. Guns, he kicked us off right off the top. He came in firing for us this morning. He gave us Tulsa +18. He got it at +20.5, but he still likes the 18. He gave us Tulane +14, and he gave us ECU money line. So that is 3 cappers that I respect that are on that ECU money line. Kong came in off of just killing it the first 2 weeks with us. Kong came in. He gave us Georgia first quarter -6.5, full game 22.5. He gave us the Kentucky team total under 9.5. He gave us Ole Miss ATS, Miami ATS, and Texas ATS. He also has his favorite parlay that he likes to put together, 2 units that he puts on it every week, and he's won it both weeks. This week, he's got Ole Miss, Miami, and Texas, all ATS. It's +581 if you put them together. And then the last parlay we got, I like how Dutch dubbed it my mama's parlay. But you know what? All that matters is if we cash, right, Nunya? Shout out to my guy, Nunya. He dropped all the favorites in the early games just on the money line. Bama, Oklahoma State, LSU, Texas Tech, Michigan, Missouri, Florida State, NC State, +642. There we go. Whole bunch of action, whole bunch of dogs, whole bunch of favorites. Got several totals in there. We got some props in there. Sounds like we're ready to, crack a top, have a drink, watch some football, and get paid today, boys.
Let's go.
You guys got anything, Moose? You got anything you want to share with everyone? I can't thank you enough, Moose, for doing this with me every Saturday, man. I love capping with you, man.
Dude, it's one of my highlights of the week. I mean, First off, it's the weekend. Second, I get to hang out with one of my favorite people in the entire world, Cabby. And then you throw Wine Time in the mix. I mean, my goodness, we're talking about some amazing captutery here. If you are interested in any of the breakdowns I've been giving, I do a much deeper dive, a moose dive that I have a Google Doc for. I mean, right now I am up to 91 pages on that bad boy. So if you want something that's a little more in depth, do not hesitate to reach out. Send me a DM. Just let me know you want the access to it. Just send me your email. I'll add you in there. This is never going to be subscription based, and I'm always going to be doing this because it helps me organize my thoughts. You know, I'm a teacher and I kind of need to write some things down so that I don't lose track of my own train, because sometimes my train goes off the tracks.
Can I say something on it? This Moose Drive thing, listen, even if you don't want like the bets, just get the information, because I promise you, a lot of us out there Google shit and then read what people write up about it, and it's trash. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. It is trash. The shit that you can get off the top of the Google search is dog shit. Okay. And if that's where you're reading to get your information, just ask Moose for his drive. You can get information for both teams. It's not like he's going to hate on one team and say, oh, bet this. That's not what it is. It's just information. It's information about the players. It's information about the teams. It's what you need. And he's offering it for free. I mean, holy shit. So hit up Moose, DM him, and get it. Wine time. Any words for the chat before we wrap?
Yeah, boys, appreciate you guys for having me as always, man. Always a blessing to be here with you guys talking ball before it starts, man. I'm stoked for these games coming up. I'm stoked to go to the Rose Bowl. I'll be on the live stream with Cab for a little bit before I take off. So I'll see you guys there, man. Let's get this cash. Let's get paid.
Wine time. I love it, man. He said it. We're gonna roll this right into the live stream. So we'll be right back on the live stream. Moose put it in the chat. If you want his Moose Drive, just DM him. Moose Money at Moose Money Bets. Follow us all on X. Shout out to my guy Billy coming in the chat, man. Billy, he was on here last week with us. Hopefully we'll get him back. But I said it earlier. Catch the UFC here on Pub Sports Radio today. Nate, my brother, good to see you. Capping cards, everybody, man. I can't tell you how much I love doing this. Let's get fucking paid today. Let me find us an outro here. What are we going to go with? Where are some videos? You're going to have to hold those horns for a second, Moose.
Oh, here, I got somebody better. Peavy, come here.
Hold on.
Come here.
Hold on.
Come here.
Oh, that's the guy you
My bad.
feed peanut butter to all the time, right?
We don't need to talk about that.
Hey, shout out to you guys in the chat. Tune in right now. Live stream. We'll be ready. Wisconsin, Alabama. Let's go.